We bow, we wear matching uniforms, we wear weird clothing, we use strange jargon, we follow a hierarchy that outsiders don't get. Let's be honest, BJJ can definitely seem like a strange subculture to be a part of. But is it a cult? Today, we're diving into a question you've probably thought about, maybe as you're driving home, wondering why you're battling it out on sweaty mats 4 times a week. Is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu just a really intense hobby, or are there some cult-like elements baked into the culture? In this episode, we're going to break down what actually defines a cult to the
best of our ability.
To the best of our ability. Neither one of us is an expert in the matter, but we've done some keyboard warrior research.
The Wikipedia.
Yeah. We're going to compare that to what you see on the mats. We're going to talk about suffering, instructor loyalty, identity fusion, and the fine line between discipline and dogma. And we'll ask the real question. Are you training jiu-jitsu, or is jiu-jitsu training you?
Welcome to the Black and Blue podcast. My name is Travis. This is the Canadian tree stump, Emmett, and we are diving into it. We're on episode 13.
Episode 13.
Bam! I got that first try. I always ask them before the podcast what one we're on, and I am always wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had it right a single time.
Yeah, you know, I was actually sometime every once in a while I listen to the Jocko podcast, and on each little icon for the episode they have the episode number.
Oh.
So and maybe that's something we should do.
You should get a little counter. Like
oh,
a little
yeah.
tick,
Yeah.
And then I'll look up at that thing. Yeah.
Then you'll finally be able to count past like 20.
I mean, I'm wearing sandals now, so I got my 20
Nice.
episodes under me. I got it.
Nice.
Go beyond that, I'm out.
And I will say, with regard to this episode, don't worry. It's not an attack on BJJ. We love the art, but we're going to have some honest, maybe uncomfortable, definitely interesting conversations about it. So let's dive in.
I love it. Looking forward to it.
Okay. So starting out, what is a cult?
Jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. So I did.
Boom. Done.
I was saying my wife, she doesn't care when I talk about jiu-jitsu too much, but she was
Just
like
glazes?
Kinda.
Oh,
yeah. Like
my wife like her eyes just glaze over. She's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Like I know not to like go into any in-depth stories, but she did ask, she was like, what's the upcoming episode about?
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, it's about, is BJJ a cult? And instantly she was like, yes. Like, of course it is.
Yeah.
So I think that, I think that goes to show that from the outside, the perspective can be like, what are you into?
I think it's because you have a picture of me that you bow to
yeah.
before you enter and leave the house, right?
It's true. And she's
instructor, what is it? The instructor loyalty or whatever.
Yeah. And she's weirded out that it's right above the bed.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to give it an important spot in the house. So, but yeah, so some of the key characteristics of a cult, as researched heavily by us on the intranets, charismatic leadership. Yeah, sure.
Very satisfying at all.
In-group, out-group dynamics, rigid hierarchies, rituals and jargon, strange outfits. I think that's a bit of an outlier one, but
that one's there.
That one's there. Yeah.
That one's part of it.
Lifestyle control, isolation, and defensiveness when confronted with alternative truths. So I don't know. And any of those stick out to you?
The outfits for sure.
Outfits for sure.
We have some weird outfits. We have samurai clothing from the 1900s.
Yeah.
That we wear, or spandex.
Or and the spandex gets crazier all the time.
And it's like every year something's even crazier. Like I got those tie-dye shorts.
Yeah.
So
and as we'll probably get into a little bit later, the tattoos too.
Oh yeah, the jiu-jitsu tattoo.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
So
I think supreme loyalty to the leader of the gym.
Yeah, which you keep talking about all the time.
No, I think it's just mandatory. Like, we have to have that.
White belts, you guys are doing good. I just want to see a little more loyalty to the supreme leader. That's me. I'm Travis.
Could you imagine how many people, if people stayed, I'd be like, okay, you guys should be leaving.
Yeah. So I want to cover really quickly because we've talked about it in the past on the podcast. I think that in bad gyms, you can actually see a real culty vibe versus good gyms, which is, in a good gym, you can kind of like, you choose your way in, you choose your way out. You can, mix up information from other places, things like that. Anything to say about that?
I would say bad gym, you're looking at the people that you're not allowed to cross train. Our secrets stay in our gym. And it's like,
Right.
really, are they secrets? They're all over YouTube.
Yeah.
And then another big one is that contract.
Oh yeah, the
Like,
contract.
Like okay, you're signing the 5-year contract for like $10 off each month or whatever, and you're not allowed to break it. And you have to jump through like a million hoops. Man, like we just had a former student, he moved away.
Yeah.
He went through it. He went through that whole thing. Like he was like, oh, I guess I'll sign. Like, and it was for a year. And then after he signed,
and the guy had horns and stuff.
It was so like they do karate power stance before they do the lesson, and then they do like, I don't know.
Is that in Canada?
Yeah.
Really?
BC, man. And he's like,
this is Jared's Academy, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Edgewater. But he was sitting there and he's like, yeah. Like after I found that out, and they do striking and stuff, and he was like watching the striking, and like they come back to a karate stance, but they're throwing hooks and uppercuts like a boxer, almost like they've stolen it, but then they come back to karate stance, and he's like, I don't know if I can do it. And so I was like, dude, that sounds like a McDojo.
It does sound like a McDojo.
And yeah, he had probably like 2 weeks of just a piss around to try and get out of that and get out of his contract. And he's like, man, this is absolutely horrible. It was like getting away from Scientology.
Did he roll with anyone?
Yeah, and he worked him over, and I'm like, you're a white belt.
Oh, he worked.
And not even a good white belt.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, there's your proof right there.
Yeah. And like he took like a couple elbows and like karate chops to the neck. Like not, it wasn't like they were karate chopping him.
Yeah.
But like he was just trying to like do jujitsu.
Yeah.
And they just like, and like went hard. And he's like, the belt system was weird apparently. I was like, man, yeah, that sounds like you need to get out and go train at another one.
Yeah.
Now he's at like, I think it's called West Coast BJJ or something like that.
On the island?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Is that the one that's right downtown?
I think so. And they're awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the one. No, I think maybe the one I went to was Victoria MMA or something.
Oh, maybe West Coast BJJ. They have like a crazy good comp.
Is that John that owns that place?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And he was at Grappler's Syndicate a couple of years ago.
Yeah. He's awesome.
I did go there.
Their crew is like really good too.
Yeah, I got kind of worked over.
Yeah.
By one guy my own age there.
But, Now he's there. And
nice.
I'm like,
oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Get your ass kicked over there. That's a gym that you want to be at.
Yeah, it's a nice gym too.
I've never been. I've met him because he's come out here for the Grappler Syndicates and stuff. When I've been down in Victoria, I was like, oh, I go stop in there, and then just stuff comes up. I'm on vacation and
but yeah, those contracts, we were saying the other day about like Scientology does the billion-year contract.
Billion years, you're in, and you're not out.
Yeah,
you got to get on that UFO somehow.
And like how like you're gonna start doing that for the kids' contracts here, billion years.
Yeah, I think that's next. And like, and you just kind of slip it in there, like, sign here. That's like the liability. So if they get injured, sign here. That's just to show like you're gonna be here for like the month. Sign here. That's them here for a billion years, and then just like.
And by the way, the belts that go. Oh, did you say a bit? Yeah, it's okay. It's just
don't worry about it. It's
a martial arts thing. It's like, it's a billion.
Anyways, look at these geese.
So some other things with regard to kind of toxic gym behavior. Now, again, I think this is fine and kind of almost mandatory, but shaming people who quit.
100%.
You got to do that, Reese.
There's a reason that people do that.
Real good Reese. And that we do that. Yeah.
Honestly, I do it because I miss them.
Yeah.
I love training with people and like, okay, if you get bugged by me or like, hey, why haven't you been training? It's not because I want your money or I want you whatever.
Yeah.
It's because I miss you and I miss training with you and you showed potential or you're really good. That's why I don't really bug you that much.
Yeah, you just give me a really nice nickname.
Yeah. That's all everyone's like, yeah, Canadian treat stuff.
I know. Levi was like, oh man, that's the best nickname. But it is true though. I think like once you have nicknames, so first of all, nicknames should never be flattering. You can never give yourself a nickname.
No.
And almost like the meaner they are, the more it means that someone cares about you. So
I love that it's sticking, and I love that our members are like Canadian tree stump.
Yeah. like I grew up in Costa Rica, right?
Yeah.
And like in Latin America, at least from my experience, it's like if you're fat, your nickname's Fatty. Like if you're like, I'm not even gonna go there because
there's probably a lot of ways to get canceled or something.
Yeah. I'm not not advocating that, but it always comes from a place of affection.
Definitely. You never give yourself a nickname either.
No. Oh man.
Those are the worst kind of people.
I know a couple of those, and it's like, well, what's the backstory to that? I thought it'd be cool.
Yeah. I thought it would be a really cool name. No.
Damn, dude, really? You gave yourself a nickname? It's fucked up. You need a new one.
Those are the people that you don't like bug to come back to training.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're leaving?
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Sharky.
Yeah. Bye, shark killer or whatever. Like,
yeah. Bye, Scorpion. really cool to have you here.
Okay. Little side quest. Have you ever heard of Skinwalker Ranch? We've talked about conspiracy theories.
I'm assuming it's some kind of brothel in the desert.
So Skinwalker Ranch,
we can go.
It's like this, like where all this like weird paranormal stuff happens and its own history. So it's like Ancient Aliens. It's done, I'm pretty sure, by the same people. So that's my like guilty pleasure. Those are the TV shows I'll watch. Anyways, there's this guy, his name is like Greg.
Have y'all ever been to Skinwalker Ranch? That's my guilty pleasure.
He says that, and now we know that he doesn't know what the hell Skinwalker is.
It's indigenous mythology, right?
It can, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway.
I kind of know.
Yeah.
Okay, please continue. Sorry.
Anyways, there's this guy. He's got like a basic ass name. I think it's Greg.
Okay.
But his name on the show is Dragon. It's like, how did you get that name? And like nobody ever gives a backstory as to why everyone's calling him Dragon.
Oh yeah.
You gave yourself
self-imposed nickname. Yeah.
Brutal.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Yeah, you can't do that. By the way, speaking of things like that, I don't know if I've ever mentioned on the podcast, like maybe I have, we tend to forget things that we've already said, but like remember like, so I started out in the striking and then I had to leave because it was COVID and I had a new baby and stuff. And there was like a couple times where you just call me and check in and be like, hey man, just want to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
And I always appreciated that. I was like, yeah. And it wasn't like, you forgot your billion-year contract.
Yeah. Come on,
like,
dude.
Yeah. Hey man, it'd be cool to have you back someday. Like, and yeah, I think that, it drew me back into the cult. So
yeah, the goal succeeded. Honestly, it's people that I like, that I see wanted to better themselves or show potential,
or had a lot of room to better themselves.
Yeah. We started really low on that. We haven't made it that far, but
yeah,
we started.
It's only been 3 years, so like there's lots of room left to improve.
But yeah, like I do that with a very few people, but I do it with people that I'm like, you know what, I kind of want you around.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So yeah, I think again, good gyms, bad gyms. The point that I think the thing that people can come back to is, who are you training for? Are you training to put money in a coach's wallet or to like fill up their competitive team or something?
Well, I also got a quota for how many members I absolutely need until the UFO comes. So
right.
He was looking at me. He was like, "Oh, really? What is it? What?"
Oh no, I was like, do I get to be? Sounds like I'm up in the hierarchy here. So like maybe I get to be on the UFO.
I'll teach you the code here soon.
Nice. Yes. It's just $1,000, right?
Yeah.
For the first level. But yeah, who are you training for? Because you should be training for yourself ultimately, right?
You should be training for yourself, your self betterment, and like progression, whether it's in jiu-jitsu, like goals, fitness, something for you, right?
Yeah.
And I think cults are for the higher being that this dude just made up, or
Yeah.
for themselves just straight up.
Yeah.
They're like, I need people and money and go get
Power.
me money and yeah.
Yeah.
And like it's that like power corrupts absolutely. So anyone that gets a little bit of power.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm one of the ones that like I love when people like ask me questions or just come up to me and like straight up ask, because I want to be approachable. I don't want to be put on a pedestal or anything like that. I think that's absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think that coaches should be approachable and should be accountable.
Yeah.
We saw it with B Team, right?
Yeah. Right.
Superstar got called out for his bullshit.
Yeah.
And that team just went, nope, you're done.
Yeah.
And like cut ties right then and there. I think that's a good move. I think that that's a positive statement for jiu-jitsu, because there is some shit people that have gotten to the highest level and they're like, oh, well, yeah, he did some shitty stuff, but look at these accomplishments. And you see that across all sports.
Yeah.
But in jiu-jitsu, I don't want that.
And I've heard you say too that an indication of a good gym is having a big female contingent.
Yeah. And we're really building up, and like it's looking really good. Like we have a decent female contingent. We have our free women's only on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And that's open to anyone coming through, even like you don't need a membership. Just jump in, sign the waiver.
Yeah.
Something happens to you, we throw you out the window, pretend that you didn't come.
Yeah. And yeah, so a big part of that too, the doing it for yourself versus doing it for someone else is like there's going to be quote unquote suffering. Not quote unquote suffering. There's going to be suffering.
There's going to be suffering. Yeah.
There's going to be suffering, but I think suffering can be growth or it can be control. And I think depending on the environment that you wind up in and how you approach it, suffering can be a good thing.
I think like in jiu-jitsu, that especially that white to blue belt suffering where you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know why you're even in the gym getting your ass kicked every single day, but you're slowly progressing and you're slowly, suffering. Yeah. But you're progressing for you to get better, for you to get more physically fit, for you to start to overcome something. Maybe you're, you have past trauma, even present trauma, and you're trying to build yourself up so that you have a resistance to that. And it takes suffering to rebuild. Right? You're not gonna build upon something that you're like, oh, I'm great at this, and then you come in and you suck, and then you don't want to look at it. You gotta take that suffering and go, okay, well, this is for me. I'm gonna build it up from here, and we're gonna go that way.
And it's self-directed, it's empowering, it's purposeful, and it's like to some extent it's guided too, whereas in a cult, the suffering you're doing is it's for the benefit of someone else.
Higher being, aliens.
I do think that like, and I'm not probably spiritually aware enough or spiritually, like evolved enough to know what the difference is. But like, I do think in a cult and in BJJ, there's some kind of like ego death there where it's like you're shedding your ego and your preconceived notions of yourself.
And that's generally like, it should be everyone though, like like white belt to black belt, it should be everyone kind of shedding that. Whereas in a cult, you kind of shed it, and then the more higher up you get in that, and you do see that amongst the higher belts, but then like you get beat up, and that's why like having traveling or having people come in, or like even going to another gym and being like, oh yeah, I'm not hot shit. Like you go into like any of these like really good gyms and they beat you up, even me, like black belt doesn't mean a ton. Well, it does, but it doesn't mean like I'm the best, listen to me. Any of those black belts that give you like political advice and shit like that aren't a political
Yeah.
scientist.
If I want political advice, I'm going to go to Jared. Okay.
But like, I'll post stuff and I'll make fun of it. But man, if you're taking advice from me on politics,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
you gotta look a different way. I'm not the guy.
Yeah.
I'm decent at jujitsu, and I'm decent at teaching jujitsu. I'm decent at competing in jujitsu, but
Yeah.
other than that, don't listen.
So the other thing that I wanted to kind of mention, or that we had in our notes here to discuss about the suffering side of things, is the almost like the performative nature of suffering. Like, we were chatting about Jonestown and that Jonestown documentary,
Dude.
which there's a part where they're calling people out from the crowd and bringing them up in front of everybody and be like, you did some things you weren't supposed to do. Like, you're going to get punished for that.
And like, it is a big auditorium.
Yeah.
And to single out someone for that is just insanity.
And I think it was for like having sex with each other.
Yep.
And it was like, you can't do that.
Only I can
do that. Yeah.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And what we do
mm-hmm.
is like, we call people up to spotlight a good thing. Like, hey, like that's like getting a belt, getting a stripe, getting something. It's like, you're doing awesome. You're doing really good at this. Yeah. I do it with the kids, right? If a kid is helping coach and like coach their partner, I'm like, damn, you're doing really good. So you call them up and you spotlight them because, well, it shows that they're progressing and it shows that they're doing something awesome, and you kind of want to foster that.
Yeah.
Same with adults. You want to foster the idea that, you are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about before, I'm stingy with stripes and belts. But when you get it, you should know that you damn well earned it. Right? I just don't give them out. I'm so stingy.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a big difference between, although I bet there's times that like, there's probably moments in cults where they do that too. Like they'll give you something to kind of make you be like, I pleased the master or whatever,
There's probably like you get beat down so much, and then like, here's a crumb, and you're like,
yeah,
it's so good. Yeah, totally. I guess that's
like, everybody, Travis has,
what have I done?
He's pleased the Lord of the Sun by, I don't know.
Man,
I don't know.
Not a doctorate in this either.
Yeah. I've never been in a cult, so I guess I don't, other than BJJ. So
other than Dark Horse.
Yeah, other than Dark Horse. Although, I think I mentioned before, I was doing CrossFit for a while, but that was it was a little culty for me. Even right down to like, I thought like some of the, I'm no exercise scientist either, clearly, but like some of the things that they did, I was like, there's no way this is good for you. Like, this is hurting me really badly. And you could see that everyone else like,
we practice like murder yoga here, right? And I've had people do CrossFit as like a way to exercise, and they come out of it more injured than they come out of like hard rounds 100%. Here. And I'm like, you guys are just exercising over there, right? Like, you're not punching each other in the face. Like, we do MMA, and we're less injured than like an exercise.
I know,
like, what is going on?
No,
man?
It's and like, it's very jargony. It's very like, now
WODs or whatever.
WODs.
I don't know.
I don't even really remember most of the terminology, but like, I will say, I am the first to admit that like, I find it difficult to not bring up jujitsu in conversation with people. And I know that even my close friends are like, dude, please shut the fuck up. Like, nobody knows what you're talking about.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. I remember I was saying that like a friend of mine, I forget how it came up, but he was like, oh, my daughter wants to come to what's it called? Jiu-jitsu? Is it jiu-jitsu?
Mexican grip karate.
And I was like, in my mind, I'm like, you don't know what jiu-jitsu is even called, and then and how my other buddy, remember I was telling you how he was like texting me being like, thinking about doing something to get in shape, like, do you do any martial arts or anything like that? And I was like,
oh my oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's like this is the golden doors opening for you.
And then I was like, don't start by telling him you have a podcast. Don't start by telling him you have a podcast. I have a podcast. There's 13 episodes. And no, but like, and then so I was like, yeah, man, I do jiu-jitsu, really like it. And I think he's actually going to come and do a few classes. So
dude, that would be sweet.
Yeah.
Add to the cult.
Yeah. And he's a big guy too. So teach him some lying down still on people and crushing them. Yeah. Kimuras. Lying down on people.
Yeah. Squish. Kimura.
Kind of a master at that stuff now. So
you get the mother's milk.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's favorite submission is he's like, yeah. When he was asked about his favorite submission, it's like, what's your favorite submission? He's like, well, it's not really a submission, but I like to smother people. And the host is just horrified by the response. He's like, all right, anyways, moving on. And he's like, yeah, it's like when you like just take their face and smush it into your chest.
Let me show you.
And the guy's like, yeah, totally cool. Anyways, you got a new movie, right? What's the movie's name? Just like,
oh man, I will say I think it's whack that what's his name? Zuckerberg does jiu-jitsu.
Oh man.
That guy sucks so much, man.
If I like any of these people that are like, yeah, I'm doing it now. It's like, I want to roll with you. Like Tom Hardy would be cool. I love Tom Hardy. He seems like a really cool, down to earth guy. Yeah. But if Zuckerberg like stepped on the nuts, I'd be like, yeah, we're very inviting.
You'd be like,
come on.
You'd be like, is it Tuesday today?
Yeah. I wouldn't even. I'd be like, I would like personally text everyone that I know that wanted to like just wreck the guy and be like, all right,
come on down.
Today's the day, boys.
Yeah.
And like just Shark Tank. Whatever. I don't know.
He's just like a weird android, man. Like that guy sucks.
Like, how do you Kimura robot arms?
Yeah.
His servos just start going the other way. You're just like, this doesn't make sense. You're little.
Yeah. So
it does not compute.
And then what were you saying about like Tom Hardy? He shot a movie here.
The Revenant. He was up for the Revenant with what's his face?
Leonardo.
That guy.
Not the Ninja Turtle.
No, the guy that's like, oh, I care about the environment. And then he drives his mega yacht around the world. It's like, oh yeah, you totally do. That's a little bit of a segue, but yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But totally, you're invited to the show, Leonardo DiCaprio or Tom Hardy, if you want to come.
Come on. You know what? With the amount of celebrities that actually do jiu-jitsu that roll through Canmore or Banff, we've never seen a single one, and I'm pretty sad about that.
But now that we're celebrities,
now that we're super celebrity podcasters,
like I have to be like, sending off interview requests all the time.
I have to like turn down one phone call every month. Like, man, it's a lot of work.
Dude, it's a lot. People are like, sign my tree stump.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Dude, we need.
I'm not another one.
I'm gonna put just a bunch of tree stumps at the front desk with Emmett.
Get your memorabilia. Yeah. Oh man, I can barely talk. Good thing I'm on a podcast. So
I'm gonna make a chessboard. All tree stumps.
Tree stumps.
All the pawns are gonna be Emmett's.
The pawns are all tree stumps. Yeah. So I do think that a way that BJJ can become culty is if you make it culty by making it your identity.
You're everything.
You're everything.
Yeah.
When you start tying ego to rank, you have difficulty kind of stepping away, talking about anything other than jiu-jitsu, guilty.
Talking about anything other than jiu-jitsu, like when you're first starting up until like purple belt, I found it hard. Like any conversation, I was like kind of itching to be like, yeah, let's do it.
Totally.
And then like I got to brown and like I had talked about it enough.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, nobody that says that, oh yeah, I'll come and try it out ever shows up. So I'm just like, whatever. And then I'm just silent.
Yeah.
Or they're like, oh yeah, how about that local sports team? I'm like, oh yeah, I do sports. And then that's
Yeah.
it.
Man, this is off topic, but so, and I know you're a hockey guy.
Yeah.
I've never given a shit about hockey. I've never played hockey. I didn't grow up in Canada for the most part, right? So it wasn't part of my life.
That makes sense.
My brother doesn't give a shit about hockey. And so, and like, I think like our attitude has also kind of been like, although my attitude has shifted a little bit over the years, like, why are these guys getting paid this sum of money to play a game? Which I do get it now, like about how
why are we getting paid so much to talk on a microphone,
right? But and so my brother used to work in a framing shop, and so the Vancouver Canucks used to be called the Vancouver Millionaires.
Yep.
And this lady comes in and she says to my brother, like, you getting ready to watch the Millionaires play tonight? And he's like, yeah, right, like really? And she was like, what? Because he was like, fucking Millionaires, like. So anyways, I don't know where that came from.
We're gonna just mention Oilers made it past the first or second round, so they're in like the semifinals, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm an Oilers, like, I grew up as an Oilers fan.
Yeah.
I haven't watched like any kind of games in any sense for a long time, other than like World Juniors. World Juniors, you get those guys are the hungry guys. Those guys are the guys that are going because they want to make it to the big show. They want to put on a show.
Yeah.
But NHL, I'm just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, it's a bunch of millionaires. And like they got rid of like my role. My role was like enforcer.
Right.
And like you don't really you just see a couple
cheerleader, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when I was in the penalty box after fighting, I'd be like, and let's go. A, B. I don't know what a cheerleader
is. Spell.
Yeah. I'm like, A. I just do the alphabet. They're like, what's Travis doing? That's all he's got. He's got gloves and skates on. He can't count, so he's just going to sing the alphabet song. A, B, C.
Good job, Travis.
Good thing there's no such thing as like concussions and stuff.
Go team A, B, C. Travis is actually way smarter than me. It's not fair to call him a dum-dum, but you know, hey,
it works.
There's certain times.
Oh man,
this should not be mentioned, but you know, for now we got off topic there again, but so yeah. If your social circle is narrowing, you know, you're only talking about jiu-jitsu, which again, guilty. But that's sort of like obsessive immersion.
The people that wear all jiu-jitsu all the time.
Yeah.
I'm 100% that guy. That's because my closet is just full of free shit that I got from like other people or like tournament t-shirts. And I just wear that because I don't really care.
Yeah.
But the people that go all in and there's like, I got the show you roll.
Yeah.
E, and it's like, you're week one. Why did you get like the most expensive, hardest to get?
Yeah.
Or like the $80 rash guard. He just bought an $80 rash guard.
My second one. Yeah.
We start before the podcast. He's like, why are you ragging on me about my $80 rash guard? I was like, I don't know. It seems some.
He's jealous that I look that good. I just look good.
Mine are $60.
Yeah. No, it's that company that I was talking about, Flowhold. That they're out of San Diego. I just really like their like aesthetic and the good quality rash guards and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe we'll write them an email one day and
get sponsored. We're not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah.
If you know of anyone that wants to sponsor us, let's go.
Any cults that
any cults that want to sponsor the secondary cult? What are we?
Yeah.
Tertiary?
We'll make them the primary cult. Yeah. So, but yeah, self-isolation, instructor worship, demonizing.
We need more of that.
We do need more of that. Demonizing outsiders and that obsessive immersion. I think that, you know, to your point about the show your role, gi, I also think I was probably guilty of that. Definitely not the gi one.
Your gi,
not the gi one.
Horrible ass judo from the 80s gi.
but like, and yeah, maybe even with the rash guards, I think like the very first rash guard I bought was all black. I actually wore it tonight because I didn't want to be like showing up and being like, yeah, I'm wearing a dragon killing a bear, because people would be like, who the fuck is this guy? He just never's done the, he just walked in and now he's like, think he's hot shit wearing a dragon killing a bear. But you do see guys who just started and they're kitted out, you know,
Yeah.
and it's like,
You usually get like, it's funny, and like I'm not like pointing out, like calling people on it, but like you get that full kit from Venom or that full kit from
yeah,
Hayabusa, and it's a great starter kit. It's just funny when you see that, like
right.
once you've been in the game
Like
a long time,
matching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like you're like, oh yeah, that still exists. Like
Yeah.
in my mind, I wear so much like random stuff.
Totally.
I
Yeah,
just like dig in my bin. I'm like rash guard, shorts,
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Whereas like you see these like full on kits and you're like, oh yeah, that's a thing that like happens. It's a weird way to look at it. I don't know, but it's awesome because it's very cost friendly, especially if you're just getting into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is like,
it's almost like it's a mark of experience, kind of like the less flashy you are, you know, like we were talking about how that book, I'm not gonna remember. Oh, Barbarian Days, the surfing book I was talking about.
oh yeah.
That there's a guy that he talks about. The guy's a big wave surfer, and he it's basically his life story in the context of surfing. And he talks about this one guy who surfs the big waves like in the San Francisco area, and how this guy would like show up. He was like a carpenter or like a drywaller or something, and how he would just like show up on the biggest days when no one else was brave enough to go out, just like old board, whatever shorts, paddle out, like slay these massive waves, like come back out, not talk to anybody, get in his truck and go back to work. And
Dude,
like
those are the killers.
Those
of
are
the
the killers, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like when you see the flashy outfit, you're like, okay, this guy's
some like I wear flashy shit, but I think it's funny. Like I'm trying to be counterculture almost.
Sure.
Like that in my mind.
Yeah.
But like you get like that full on flashy kit, you're just like, oh,
yeah.
right. But then you get that dude that rocks up in like just board shorts and like a t-shirt or like a old rash guard, and you're just like, what's this guy doing? Then he wrecks everyone. You're like, all right.
So that actually happened in the very first class I came to. All I had was that shitty gi pants, and I wore just like a regular t-shirt.
And wrecked everyone?
No. Someone came up to me. I think it might have been Nathan or somebody was like, dude, when you came in, I was like, oh, for sure, this guy's like a traveling black belt, like, you know. And then it turns out I just am a rank beginner, you know. But
you found the gi pants somewhere in a box. Like, yep.
Yeah. Oh, so the really funny story about that gi is I bought it years ago. Because like at one point there was a judo club here, and like, and like along with it, I bought a white belt or whatever, and like when I went to tie that belt, I was like, oh, whoops,
no.
I'm a tree stump now. So that didn't go so well. And that's also that same first day. I don't think that guy's here either, but this other sort of big dude was like, looks like that belt don't fit too well. I'm like, fuck off, dude.
Who are
like,
I love our gym.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you can kind of ask yourself, like, are you in control, or are you letting BJJ run the show a little bit for you? And for our listeners, viewers, I would love to hear stories about, like, have you taken it too far? Have you seen people who take it too far?
What are the gyms that take it too far? Like, you can edit out or just send us a personal message and be like, I trained at this gym that was like blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah. And it's like, man, like I've heard some stories and I've read some stories, but it's always interesting to hear even more. And like we'll keep it anonymous if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hear some stories. I wanna just give a couple of shout outs if you want.
Yeah.
Shoot us a message on Instagram. What is it? YouTube, Spotify. We can
Yeah.
get comments on everything actually now. So yeah,
If you say
let's
so.
go. Yeah.
I tend to shy away from the comments.
How did I get the tech job?
I don't know. Well, because I'm the guy who spills water and coffee on my computer. So like clearly my days of being tech savvy are long done. So
I need to get sponsored by a sippy cup.
yeah. I that's why I'm drinking out of this and I'm keeping it over here with the lid on. So
like a psychopath.
oh man, dude, that shit has bummed me out for like a month. And same thing with your what recently happened.
Yeah.
Like Sarah, my wife, is like, what is your problem lately? And I'm like, it's been more than a month, and I'm just like, I'm pissed off at myself, like you, gosh darn. What does he say in Elf? He's like, you're a cotton-headed ninny muggins.
Yeah, ninny muggins. Oh man,
you beat yourself up,
Totally, especially if you forget to hit record on a podcast.
Oh yeah,
horrible.
Imagine
I don't know who that guy would be.
It must be our Jamie guy that we have.
Yeah. You should probably be fired.
He'll be fired already.
Then it can be like Blue and Blue or something. Truly the Emmett show.
Just me, like a blue belt talking about jujitsu. Like another thing I think is
the thing I've seen in my 3 years.
Yeah. I think our huge audience would quickly diminish.
The tens of people would go down.
Yeah. So what about the roots of BJJ? Do you think that makes it more culty? Is that a culty sort of pocket of jiu-jitsu?
I think it helped feed into it for sure. Like the whole "this is our secret, don't teach anyone," because jiu-jitsu was kind of like, it could defeat a lot of like jiu-jitsu was the martial art to defeat other martial arts.
Yeah.
It's become a sport in itself where it's jiu-jitsu's designed to defeat jiu-jitsu now. Right. But back then it was like, don't give anyone our secrets.
Right.
You're Creonte or whatever the Brazilian word for traitor is. And it's like, yeah, but like you can still get that on YouTube. You can do all this stuff. You can figure it out. But yeah, that traditional, like where it started from, like keep the secrets in house.
In the family.
Yeah.
Literally, like those guys had all kinds of family, like literal, like many kids with many people, and it was like, let's literally keep this in the family.
The jiu-jitsu family tree was a stick. Like it just like there was no branching out on that one. Like, and if you did branch out, that branch got cut off quick, and then like they had to do their own thing, but they got ostracized really quick. And like that kind of fed down. You still see it. You see it in like a bunch of gyms, like not a bunch, but you still see it out there where you're like, you can't cross train. Why not? Like, go test your skills on like, oh, I can't. My instructor won't let me. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's wild.
Like, it blows my mind every time I hear that. Like, it's like, whoa. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Corey at 10th Planet. He has like these awesome little open mat sessions in Calgary there, where it's like black belts from all over just come and do these like open mat black belt sessions, where previously I can't think of a single gym that would do that, because there would be black belts have like this weird prestige where they're like, oh, I can't go and like be vulnerable and open myself up and get worked over by all these other black belts. That's why you don't see that many black belts competing in the local scene, because they don't want to show in front of their students that they like got whooped. Like that's probably why I want to compete, because it's like, no, I can lose. But guess what? I'm gonna keep going. Because that's what humans should do. Fall down 7 times, get up 8.
Totally.
But yeah, it's crazy that whole like traditional thing is still around. Like the whole like gauntlet too. Like that seems like some cult.
Is that the whipping thing? I saw that on Instagram the other day. I was like, dude, no thanks.
Yeah, that, and I've been to a couple of those clubs and they've done that. I'm like,
but it wasn't jujitsu. It was a different kind of club, right?
No, it was a jujitsu club. Yeah, it was a different club. But yeah, in this one, I was just like, oh, this is what you got. And then like when it came for me to hit, I was like, no, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It just felt weird.
Yeah.
Like, I understand like a throw at the end. Like, I've seen that. And I'm like, okay, at least it's jujitsu, right?
Yeah.
Or rolling. Like, we make our guys roll.
Yeah.
But it's jujitsu. Just getting whipped for no reason. Like, fuck.
No. Yeah. I do think that, a big part of probably the difference between jujitsu and a cult is the camaraderie aspect, where like, yeah, you probably, I mean, granted, even in the Jonestown thing, that Jonestown documentary, people loved each other and they were all friends. Maybe, I don't know. So maybe that's another similarity.
Everyone became a eunuch together.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah, man. Nah.
But here, you enter voluntarily, you leave voluntarily, but you also I have really grown to appreciate the camaraderie and like the kind of, I don't want to call it a brotherhood because it's a brother and sisterhood, but that sort of thing where I feel like there's a lot of people here that if I had a problem, I could call them and they'd be like, yeah, I'll be right over.
Totally. And I think that's a great thing about it. I think that's probably one of you talk about it, but you don't like go in depth into like how good of friendships you can build. Like you look at some of the guys at like Carter and Dan, right? Beautiful example. They're the first blue belts under, like, other than myself and Rich, under like previously Bow Valley Jiu Jitsu, right?
Yeah.
And they work so hard together to earn their blue belts. Like, they went in, they did all the training together, and they really built that camaraderie, right? And you see that in that like build up to blue belt, and it goes beyond that. And like you see, like you and Adam, that's another one. Like you see that you guys have ever met outside of jiu-jitsu and become friends?
Probably not.
And then you see it, oh yeah, you have a lot in common. You might not have like the same political views or anything, but guess what? You're on the mats, you're chilling, you're playing around, and then you can actually talk with a guy that you actually have that bond with. Like, we've talked about politics. We don't have the same views. And I'm like, cool. It doesn't really go, I hate this guy. I'm like, oh, I kick his ass on the mats.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't hate that guy. I'll just get my ass kicked by him. It's fun. But no, and like, I think there's something to be said. Like, look, I'm not going to equate it to, as people do, like, to battle, because no, it's not battle.
We're not in super fights.
We're not in super fights. We're not going to battle. But I do think there's something to be said for, being physically challenged and like fighting with someone and like learning in those circumstances in that sort of heightened, not emotional context, but heightened stimulus. Yeah. And it's like, cool. Like, and seeing their progress, that, and that's when you're saying like, you miss people like Reese, because you watch them get better. And then it's like, oh, it sucks to see people kind of like,
and fair, if they got other stuff going on, that's fine. I just do miss it. I just miss having you around. I just miss this aspect.
But that's different from like you leave and then they ruin your career, like Scientology.
Yeah, that whole
still totally open to be sponsored by Scientology.
Yeah.
If we like
if
it.
If you give us money, let's go.
Yeah, we're in. We're in all the way.
Billion years? Sure.
Go Xenu.
Yes. That's a guy from Dragon Ball, right?
I actually don't know Dragon Ball. Like, I know that's another cult that you're in.
Yeah,
right?
that's a heavy cult.
I don't know anything about it. Yeah. So what you've mentioned a couple cults that you've had brushes with, right? Like that subcultures. Let's call them subcultures. And we'll get into that in a second too. But like that's a subculture.
Yeah. And then like, we've talked about it before, but like sports fans, dude, like, and we should have, that would have been a great segue when we're talking about hockey.
Oh,
you see the sports fans that are armchair critics that have never skated before.
Yeah.
We'll just edit it, right?
Yeah.
We can edit magic and be like,
let's not get too techie.
Yeah. I'll fail that one.
Yeah. We recorded it, but then I accidentally erased it when I was trying to edit it.
Could you imagine? But yeah, sports fans, right? They're on the verge because they're never going to do it, and they're just following so hard. And you see that with like MMA, jiu-jitsu, all these like hardcore fans that you're like, have you ever fought before?
Yeah.
And
that's what, so maybe full disclosure, if I keep saying we talked about this, it's because we did this episode already.
yeah.
And some things happened. There was a lot of ifs, ands, what have yous. We're doing it again.
Yeah.
But we talked about the MMA drip guy. Remember?
Oh yeah.
He was like on some Instagram thing or whatever, and he's like, I got the hat, I got the shirt, and he's like this sort of like pudgy,
he's like the just bleed guy that you're like, ugh,
yeah,
like cringy guy, but he's just there to like, it's like supporting a team.
Yeah, it's
supporting, right? But it's just one dude,
team,
right? Yeah, I don't. Is it a cult?
Being a sports fan? I don't know. Well, it's you enter voluntarily and leave voluntarily. There's no leader.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, I mean, unless you're like a soccer hooligan, you're not like hurting anyone.
Yeah. If you're a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, you're just hurting yourself.
You're just hurting yourself. Yeah. That's like suffering. What's it called? Like, fuck, I can't think anymore, man. I think I must have long COVID or something. Like, I just like don't have words.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Dude, I swear to God, like at least once every 3 weeks or so, someone comes up to me and they're like, hey, Emmett. And I'm like, hey, man.
They're like you're Emmett from the Black and Blue Podcast.
But I'll literally be like, cool, hey, man. And they're like, it's me, Rob. And I'll be like, right on, bro. And they're like, remember I'm like, yeah. Like, 'cause I just don't remember shit anymore. I do think that one of the cool things about jiu-jitsu is you can very legitimately enter it, compete in it, get way better at it, no matter your age, your gender, whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like, and granted, I'm not saying like anyone can be the best in the world, but there's the really good competition scene. There's ways to progress and be measured in that. Where, yeah, sure, you can play league hockey or whatever. You can go play basketball against some guys down at the YMCA or whatever. But I feel like there's a different structure there for jiu-jitsu.
Definitely. And I think like, and you don't even have to compete. We talked about like the board shorts do. Like some of those guys never compete. But they are absolute like just
mat monsters.
Yeah. Like the Danaher thing, right? And it's like, yeah, those guys are just killers. And you've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know where I came up, but they're monsters. Man.
I think that's a cool way to be. Just like you're just doing you like just are there because you want to get great at something. And, obviously I'm 25 years away from being that guy, but you'll
get there.
I'll get there. I'll be 80, but
there's some, like up in St. Albert, there's some guys that I've never seen compete.
Yeah.
But when you roll with them, you're just like, what is going on? Just, like I'm on and I'm a guy that likes to push a pace, likes to go offense. And like I play various games, but yeah, there's some guys up there that I'm just like, you're pretzeling me.
Yeah.
And I've never seen you compete. Oh, I don't compete. I'm like, what? Oh yeah, I just like to come in. I'm like, how much do you train? He's like, oh, about 7 days a week. I'm like,
whoa.
You don't. He's like, oh, I just like to do this. And he's like, the one guy is like a doctor as well.
Right.
Like, how do you train 7 days a week, doctor? He's like, I just like to train.
He knows that like all these like just secret joint things that he can do. Like
he like pokes and it's like a pressure point.
What is it?
Turns it off.
5-finger palm exploding heart technique.
5-finger death punch.
So I don't know. I think there's maybe a fine line, maybe a clear line, but like between subculture and cult, like everyone has stuff that they get into and they kind of like adopt the costume a little bit. And like,
what?
Yeah.
One that we've never talked about, and it's paintball and airsoft guys.
That's a major subculture / cult. Hey,
yeah, man. Yeah. Especially the airsoft guys. Like they're like, oh, that's not a real. Like when they talk, like, because I paintball every now and then.
Okay,
I used to do it quite a bit more, but like they talk shit about paintballers. Like, oh, that's not real. 200 round hopper or whatever. That's not. It's like,
I literally don't know the difference. Yeah.
well, like real as in like they're saying like a paintball marker
Yeah.
isn't real like a gun because it has 200 whatever 200 paintballs,
As
right?
opposed to what?
As opposed to what an airsoft gun might have, which is like 10, like
okay.
in a clip.
Oh, so like one is harder
Yeah,
to do.
they say, and there's like that's not real. It's like, well, neither is airsoft. You're hitting each other with little plastic BBs, like
Yeah. Oh, they're not exploding paint things?
no. So
okay.
airsoft is like little plastic BBs.
Okay.
Paintballs like paintballs.
Yeah.
Oh, do I have to explain? Oh,
No, I get it.
All right,
I get it. Yeah. I just
They're paint.
yeah, one's paint, one's not.
Yeah.
One has 10, one has 200. Got it.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the paintball guys, like they go, but they're not like usually fully suited up. Like sometimes they're like in woods, like in camo.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like you get like these airsoft guys, and they're in like full ghillie suits and like
Right.
Call of Duty style, and there's like they always huddle over in the corner, and like so it's like a subculture within a subculture, and they're like
Yeah.
it's like Jiu Jitsu talking shit about Krav Maga. I don't know what's bigger. Karate. Karate's bigger than Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
Like more
So
members.
karate is paintball and airsoft is jiu-jitsu?
Jiu-jitsu? Yeah, because
Yeah.
Jiu Jitsu's more real. Damn. We're like airsoft. Oh no.
I don't know, man. I've only done paintball once, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. And like they blow the horn to start, and some kid shot me, and I was done. And I'm like, oh, this sucked.
Dude, we went out as a club, and,
yeah.
and like it was like crazy. I think we had like 20 people out, and at one point we had a bunch of teenagers, and a bunch like it was almost half and half.
Yeah.
And then the teenagers were like, yeah, it's us versus the old guys, but we also get Coach Travis. I was like, I don't know. Like I'm not young.
Yeah.
But sure, let's go. And they're running like young people can run, and I'm just like hobbling my ass, busted out.
Like that in that meme that I sent you the other day with the guy with the bent ass leg backwards. Yeah.
But I'm just like hobbling. I'm like, oh man, I can't keep up with you guys. But yeah, we won. Like,
Yeah.
sucks to be the old people that lost. We'll do that again. I love it.
I'd be into it. It sucks when you get shot right away and you're like, oh, this blows.
We can play
Yeah,
a bunch of games. Like I think I have like 6 markers. Like I had one.
Is a marker a gun?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, we say marker because like if you're trying to sell it on Facebook, you can't be like paintball gun.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Slammed. It's paintball marker.
So I used to live in Toronto, and they would have on the street in the summertime, they'd have like hot girls in like short shorts and basically like, skimpy tops that would sell like paintball like tickets basically. And they'd be like, have you guys ever tried paintball? And it's like, no. And they're like, well, we're selling like 3 for 1 today. So you just have to buy like, and then like you never go because it's like way off in a different part of the city, but and they're like, it's so fun. And like, it's only whatever, $60, and you're like for 3. And they know that like 90% of the people who buy them are just never even gonna go. And it's like, yeah. So that's my paintball story.
Oh man. We'll go to Bragg Creek paintball.
Yeah.
They're
let's
awesome.
do it. All right. But yeah, subcultures, like remember I was saying, so my wife used to work for Lululemon.
Oh my!
And it's pretty like super jargony. Yeah. They actually all the new employees, they send them to like a seminar. Yeah. I forget what it's called, but it's
probably like a conference, isn't it? Or is it like do they learn stuff there?
There's like a person who sits up on a stage and like
spouts the stuff.
Dude, I went to one of these and I actually had a interesting experience, which I'll get into some other time. Like I feel like I actually did get something out of it. But
this is another Emmett fight story.
No.
Someone at the Lululemon conference.
But it's like it's basically a 3-day thing, and they try to like break you down emotionally. And like I shit you not, man. So like I went in there being like, okay, let's see what this bullshit is. And like, I shit you not, we're there 5 minutes, and like the person up top, whatever the guru or whatever is like, So, as we get started and guy puts up his hand and she's like, yeah, you. And he's like, I was molested. And it was like, oh boy.
Whoa.
Like, it was like, oh, it's going to be that kind of experience, because people are there to find emotional support and help and stuff.
My goodness.
And it was like, yeah, there was some pretty heavy shit there, man. And I actually did take away some stuff, but it's probably a little bit off topic for today.
Yeah.
But it's a very culty atmosphere.
I think I'm still a Lululemon ambassador.
Yeah.
I probably still have the login.
Nice.
I knew the girl at the Banff one, super cool girl. But she wanted me to try out her stuff for
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu to see if they wanted to like
Yeah.
expand their product line or whatever. So I got like some leggings is what they call them.
Yeah.
Spats. We call them spats.
Yeah, leggings.
Because we have our own jargon.
Yeah.
And they pilled. They were okay, but yeah, they pilled really quick and
Yeah.
they held moisture. It felt like I was sitting in water all the time.
Gross.
The rash guard, I don't know what they call it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt heavy. As soon as you start sweating, you're like, oh, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
The best thing I got out of there was like a tank top, and I wore it for like sparring because like it was nice, light, and I didn't have to show off my hairy ass chest.
The men's pants are actually really good, like the walking around pants.
Jeans, that's all I got.
Yeah.
Can't be like Carter and get the pants. I'm out.
Not the leggings like Carter.
Oh
yeah.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
He looks good in those. He really fills them out, more and more all the time. So, okay. Again, transparency. We did not record this.
That's why
before.
you keep hearing we talked about it.
Yeah.
Remember.
But I think one of the best things we talked
about
about, one of the best things we talked about in the last one was gorilla versus 100 men. So like I want to know what Travis's take is on the gorilla versus 100 men.
Zero chance. There's not a dude. I watch so many nature shows, and like I've watched Planet Earth, all like both Planet Earth 1, Planet Earth 2, all the other ones, anything that has David Attenborough, I am in. And yeah, gorilla kills you. Gorilla, 100 guys. Even like if you're going like highly trained, if it's 100 John Jones or 100 Brock Lesnar's, I mean, maybe, but there's a video of this gorilla and they're just like walking through the forest.
Yeah.
And this videographer,
I think I saw that.
And he's a big guy.
Yeah.
And the gorilla just grabs his ankle and keeps walking like he's holding a kebab. Like it's nothing. And he drags him up a hill.
Yeah.
And if anyone's ever tried to drag like a limp body, you're not. Dude is ever going to do that. And he just drags it like it was nothing.
Imagine being that guy. You're like, oh no.
Dude, he just sat there and he just froze. And then he just got let go. And he's just like you see him run away. He's just like, not run away. Like he kind of slowly backed away because he knew if he ran away, that shows fear. He's probably done.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then you see him in zoos and they're just like beating on each other.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. You think 100 dudes that if we're picking at random, there's such a small chance that any of them train. Even
what training? What's that going to do?
Nothing. It's going to make you more confident when the gorilla's ripping your arms off and beating you to death with your own arm. And it's like, I don't think this is possible as you're getting beaten with it. That gorilla wins. 100% of the time. I don't care. I don't care what you say. You guys give us your opinions. Who wins? One dude or one gorilla, one dude or 100 gorillas. But yeah, my personal opinion, 100 dudes are going to be lying in 300 parts, and the gorilla's going to be like, okay, now what?
Okay, so the follow-up question is,
what's the biggest animal that you think you could defeat in a fight? You 1v1 in a plexiglass cage, no weapons.
And so
I think you said house cat.
Gerbil. But not in that way.
They just die on their own.
I've defeated a few gerbils in my time.
Richard Gere kind of thing. We just dated. We just dated
Yeah.
the podcast. They're
Yeah.
like, who's Richard?
Yeah.
And what does that mean? We're gonna get a whole bunch of people googling it again.
I've taken down a few gerbils, or up, as it were. So I have heard of people at least escaping from a cougar. You know, like
It's got to be a baby cougar.
I don't
You're
know,
not. You're not winning against a full-grown
mountain
cougar.
lion or whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. They got like 3 to 4 inch claws,
Yeah.
5 per paw, and they kick with all 4, and their teeth are like
Yeah.
2 to 3 inches long. They're canines,
Yeah.
and they stalk you. But like if you're facing it, like yeah, you might be able to run, but it's like if it knows that you're fighting and you're trying to fight, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they're just like I've heard of people like getting away, but it's usually because something else happens.
Yeah.
It's not the cougar going, I guess I guess you could win. It's like, no.
And it's like when you start to think about it, there's really like there's not a like sure, you know, a dog, you know, the right dog, right time, you kick it in the right place, you know, you grab it the right way.
See some of those like police dogs.
Oh
Yeah, you're done. Like
Yeah.
like they're trained to bite your arm, but if you train it like if they're allowed to go, they're biting your throat.
Dude, I saw this fucking thing online the other day where this guy was teaching anti-dog like self-defense, and he's like, so when it comes at you, you lock it between your legs. I'm like, are you a moron? Like, you know what's between your legs? Like
your belly button.
Like
wink.
Gonna scare the gerbils out of there. But like
you're done.
Like, what are you talking about?
And they have you ever tried to like trim a dog's nails? You can't.
Yeah.
Like a good sized dog, you
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
Like if
No,
they
no.
don't want to be held, they worm out, and you're just like, what I do, I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I can't even hold my like 70-pound dog
Yeah.
in a hold where if she wanted out,
Yeah.
she would have got out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I'm three times your size and
Totally.
weight. Like this doesn't make sense. And she's just a medium-sized dog.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I
Yeah.
can kick the shit out of a kangaroo.
Yeah. And so the test is going to be taking you to the kangaroo farm in Kelowna.
Yeah.
We're in front of all the little kids.
I'm gonna
test
put
it
my
out.
gloves up, and he's gonna put off his. And
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you can get around those rear like the legs that they hop on, I think that you like. I'm pretty sure I could like 2-on-1 arm drag, get to that neck. Like I don't know if they have the same arteries going up there, but I think that if you get behind a kangaroo, they can't hop backwards.
Oh man.
But and
Like
that Aussie dude that like
Yeah.
does like a straight right. He hits the thing, and I mean it doesn't
Yeah.
put it down. The kangaroo's like, the hell
He's
is that?
He's almost like, what?
Yeah, he's
Like,
like that's never happened. Like, yeah, I think kangaroo.
I would definitely like love to see that. Like, I would love to see that.
Could you
Oh.
imagine?
And remember
PETA would be on us hard.
we were talking about quintet or whatever, the jiu-jitsu competition, about how they match like 5 guys against 5 guys. And so our pitch to Dragon's Den is going to be 5 guys, 5 kangaroos.
Who wins?
Oh, they might allow it in Japan. I don't know.
I'm sure that there's an area somewhere in the world that allows this crazy Ukraine allows the craziest shit.
They're busy.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Poland does
Sure.
crazy shit over there.
Or like
too.
you can probably do it in like Turkey or something.
Yeah,
like that.
one of those.
A lot of logistics though. You got to get the kangaroos there. You got to get the guys there. I think we just got to break into the kangaroo farm in Kelowna.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
The crazy thing is like a kangaroo's okay. I'm talking about, let's go average size kangaroo, not like the one that like stands there like Nate Diaz. It's like all jacked and stuff.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
look at my bite, and you're like looking at the thing. And you're like, who gave the kangaroo steroids?
It's crazy how we oddly human they look with like the arms.
Yeah,
You know,
when they stand there, like you know what I'm talking about, like the
Yeah,
Nick
yeah. Oh,
Diaz
I
where
know.
where it's
Yeah, yeah.
puffing out like this. And it's like, and that kangaroo is like, boom. I'm like, what is happening here? Like they're ripped.
Somebody should like give a kangaroo like huge tats on the arms and stuff. Oh, and that's the other thing. Guys who get back to the topic at hand here. Guys who get jiu-jitsu tattoos when they just start.
The belts where they're like, yeah, I got jiu-jitsu and here's the white belt. And then like I've seen guys that don't have all the belts. And like, why would you go that dedicated? And full disclosure, I got like the jiu-jitsu, it's in kanji here.
Yeah.
But I got that as a purple belt and maybe brown belt. But I was in, and I'm an instructor. I own this club. I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm going to do it.
Sure.
But those brand new guys that are like, yeah, jiu-jitsu, and they get it. I'm like, whoa, dude, you need to slow down. Like, there's some of those guys that go hard. And you kind of got to, as an instructor, you kind of have to help wean them off of going so hard right off the bat because they burn out.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen it time and time again.
Yeah.
Where you get that guy that goes super hard, super fast, all in, and then he's at every single class, morning, lunch, evening, all the classes that he can get to, or sorry, that they can get to, because I've seen both male and female do it. And then they just burn out. And as an instructor, that it hurts. And I eventually saw it enough times that I started recognizing the cues.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, we need to like slow this person down a little bit so that they don't burn out all the way, like fizzle out and done.
Yeah.
They need to like keep that momentum going. But like, unless you're doing this as a professional, getting paid for it, you gotta like ease your way through it. Like if you're going into that professional route, that's when you're training multiple times a day.
Sure.
Hard, blah, blah, blah.
It's not so bad if you get cauliflower ear.
Yeah. Oh, man. Those poor bastards that get cauliflower ear and then quit. Like at least you can like I guess you can get it surgically removed, but my goodness.
Can you? I don't know.
I've seen it. I've seen them like they have to like full on reconstruct ear. It's crazy.
When cauliflower ear first happens, you have a window, right? Where it's like they can.
Well, you can drain it. You can drain it.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is you drain it, but it's actually more susceptible to getting hit again or to flaring up again because it's the skin between or the cartilage and it like rubs between, and that's what happens. That's what causes, and then the fluid goes in between. Then if you leave it, you have cauliflower, and then if you quit jiu-jitsu, you're just a dude on the street that has an ugly ass ear or 2 years. Like, it's
well, at least you look tough, I guess. I don't know.
I guess, but man, if you get cauliflower, you better be training for the rest of your life, because who wants to be the dude that has just an ugly ass ear? Then you have to tell everyone, oh yeah, I used to train jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah. And people are like, that wasn't worth it, was it?
Do you still do it? No, I quit. And then I had to get like laser removal of the tattoo.
Man. Yeah.
You got to slow those people down. You got to be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Hopefully like people listen to this that are brand new and they're like, oh, I was considering getting that tattoo. It's like, give it a few belt ranks.
I mean, I think like, I don't know. It's just, I do think like jiu-jitsu is also like a tattoo adjacent culture, like where like a lot of the people at every gym, they have like sleeve tattoos and stuff like that. But it's like, I think you can always do things in a way that's like more like representative of the idea of jiu-jitsu rather than like go the Gordon Ryan route and like literally write jiu-jitsu on your tattoo. Like, it's a little on the nose. Yeah.
And like, I have it in kanji because it's rare that anyone will ever actually know.
I think that's different.
Yeah. I've hidden it in my Dragon Ball Z tattoo, like Shenron, the dragon. So anyone looks at it, they're like, oh, probably means dragon.
Yeah. But also,
that's my nickname.
You own a jiu-jitsu club and you're a black belt. I think it's different. But like, if you're going to get a tattoo and you're just starting out, you can make it a metaphor. It doesn't have to be like, I like jujitsu, and here are some belts. Like,
Never tap.
like use your imagination. Yeah, never tap. Oh, dude. So I do, man. So Nino and I were rolling the other day. Oh, it wasn't when we were rolling. It was when I was rolling with someone else, and he was like, Emmett, stay heavy. And I was like, dude, I'm making shirts that just say "stay heavy." That's gonna be my motto.
Nice.
Stay
I
heavy,
have
brother.
Too stupid to quit, and you have stay heavy.
Yeah, stay heavy.
Love it.
It's like that's like my jujitsu motto. Stay heavy. So yeah, I'll have to give Nino one of those shirts.
I think that he would love it.
Yeah, man. All those Filipino guys that come here, they're so awesome to train with.
Filipino Mafia.
Yeah,
Dude, they're the only reason that our YouTube channel does relatively decent, because they're like, hey, we doing videos today? And I'm like, I feel tired or something. They're like, yeah, let's do videos. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go. And like they push me. I'm like,
yeah. No,
they're awesome.
They're really fun to roll with. So okay, as a kind of wrapping it up here, kind of thing. I think BJJ has some culty optics. I think you can take it too far.
There are some clubs that do
that, and that delve into some weird culty stuff, like billion-year contracts. Like treating people not the way they should be treated,
like humans.
Like like humans.
That whole like, oh, he's a white belt, just beat the shit out of him kind of mentality. He's like, no, those are the people that should be building up the club.
But I think like the foundation of jiu-jitsu is it's grounded in autonomy and empowerment, where cults, it's the opposite. And I think a cult takes away your autonomy, where BJJ helps you kind of reclaim it, and in the right environment.
In the right environment, it helps you build upon yourself. It helps build yourself up.
And so going back to that question, if you're starting out at a gym, and you sense that maybe something's up, just think about who are you doing this for? You should be doing it for you.
Yeah.
So,
and I think a couple things to look out for would be, are there any females on the mats? That's usually a quick one. Like if you look and you're like, oh man, like there's never any, there's a weird vibe. That might be a little like sign. Another one to look at would be, do you sit there and like bow to, like in an unironic, funny way? Like I want to get the Craig Jones one. They're all sold out. I think that would be so funny to like every now and then bow to it and be like, make a video, like an Instagram video.
Yeah.
But like, if you're bowing to some dead dude, like,
why?
What's happening here? I understand tradition. I understand traditions are important for a lot of things.
And respect. Yeah, of course.
Respect for sure. But there are some that like, it could be potential like red flags, if we want to say it in that term. But like some of those clubs that do that, like they're good. It's just, that's what they've kind of come up with.
Yeah.
So,
and gauge it to your own taste too.
Totally. Maybe you want to be part of a cult.
Maybe you want to be a part of a cult. And then, take a look at your own approach. I think BJJ is, and speaking for myself here, it's an amazing component to a well-lived life.
Because of your great instructor.
Because of the master.
The master.
The owner.
The
owner. As I like to call him. But, I think it's important to every once in a while take stock and be like, is this taking over my life?
I think that's it's good to have an idea of what you want to do. If it is costing you, like
friends,
like anything, like there are some aspects, like jiu-jitsu is this great thing where it can make you realize who's there for you, kind of thing. Or, like it makes you realize what's there and what's out there, but it also can take away a lot of things. Like if you're all in all the time, it's all you do, you're going to lose a lot of friends. You're not going to be out as much. And this is coming from not a very social person.
Right.
I don't go out that much.
Not a very charismatic leader
at all. I'm the worst. But like, it can show you a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, it can
Good and
open
bad.
doors, yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware of that
Yeah.
as your own self, right?
Yeah.
You have to have the idea behind what you want out of it,
Yeah.
what you can get out of it, and is it allowing that?
Yeah.
No. Guess what? There's a ton of clubs out there. Go find a different one.
Yeah.
If they're saying you're not allowed to go and see these different clubs, that's when you're like, oh, okay, I should definitely leave.
And that idea of like, you're opting in, you can opt out, but the beautiful thing is you're accountable for your own progress and you're accountable for what you get out of it. It's, I mean, it's a kind of a tired saying, but like the more you put in, the more you get out.
Definitely.
And that's true of BJJ, where it isn't true of cults. Like cults is it's
one-way street
and a bottomless pit
of
energy, of affection, of effort. Whereas BJJ, the more you put in, the more you get out, as long as you keep it in balance. By the way, what I didn't actually mention? So where I spent my youth in Costa Rica, there was a is it Shotokan karate?
Yeah,
is that what it's called? There was a Shotokan karate club that their whole deal, and I'm not making this up. Their whole deal was like, let's train and then let's go out to the streets to find people to fight so you guys can test your karate.
Dude, let's do that. Can we do that? Can we find some of these cyclists? Oh man, there's a cult in themselves. Oh, I can't. What was it? Roller skaters?
Roller skaters?
Like they are skiers or whatever.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
In the middle of the road. I'm like, I'm in a couple 1,000-pound vehicle.
I know. It's pretty. People who don't live in Canmore probably don't know what we're talking about. Oh. But it's like they're skis and it's like rollerblades, but they're like this long, and they have poles, and they go down the hill and they come up the hill.
And all you hear is and they're in the middle of the road.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. And then you honk your horn, and then you're the bad guy. It's like, no, you guys are in the middle of a road doing 5.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit of a tangent, but
if you want to go test out some jiu-jitsu on those guys, yeah. Although most of those guys are Olympic athletes, I think, but
I mean, that doesn't really mean much. Yeah, you know how to grapple.
Yeah,
we've had like ultra marathoners and everyone come in and they're like, oh yeah, I'm super fit, and then like they're done within like 30 seconds. So like, I don't know how hard it is. It's like,
well, someone here was talking about CrossFit the other day, and they were like, I think it was one of the newer white belts was saying like, oh man, I've done CrossFit for so long, and it didn't help me. And like, it's like, no, man, yeah.
That being said, like if I was to go and do a triathlon, I'd be dead. What's the first one? Running? So I'd be dead in that.
I don't know.
And then you swim in a ocean, dead. Then you swim, or then you bike, and then I'd be like, how does this work? I could probably bike it. I'd suck.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not gonna have the cardio for that.
Well, Nate Diaz does triathlons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm self-aware enough to know that I have crazy cardio on the mats.
Yeah.
Horrible cardio for everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't, man, I think my style is evolving to be more and more lazy in jiu-jitsu, where I'm just like, I know that I can defend a lot of shit, so I just let people work it out. I'm like, okay, all right. I guess I got to do something at some point.
You're spending too much time with Carter.
Yeah. Carter doesn't even change his facial expression. He's just like,
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but it doesn't help. It's not going to help me run a triathlon. It doesn't even help me get up the stairs here. So, but yeah. So, again, reaching out to our audience. Have you ever trained at a culty gym? Have you ever thought that maybe you or someone you know are you or someone you know being affected by jiu-jitsu too much? And yeah, like, let us know any funny stories or I would love to hear stories about beginners who take the aesthetic too far. I love that.
Wow. Yeah. Let's hear all those stories.
The jargon, the one that I see too is like when someone, cause I actually like the term. Like, I think it's a cool term of affection when you call someone brother.
Oh, bro.
Like brother, bro. And then like, But like you'll see people start and it's like the way they refer to everybody.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're like, it's kind of like you reserve that for, you know,
So one thing I do is everyone is bud.
hey, bud.
Yeah. Hey, bud. Because 3/4 of the time,
Yeah.
I have forgotten your name.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I really do practice. And like, if it's your first day, I say your name probably 20 times. I'm like, hey, Jim, how's it going, Jim? That was a good sweep, Jim, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Just to get it in my head.
Yeah,
But by the next class, I'm like, oh,
totally.
But I have like
even.
all the kids coming in and no offense to the adults, but I am remembering all the kids' names.
Yeah.
Because that is their one
Yeah.
little attachment. That's their one thing in this life is their name. So
Yeah.
you got to remember that. And then the adults, I'm like, hey, bud.
Hey, bud. Well,
But-
people come and go too, right?
Yeah,
Like it's like,
we're in a transient town.
yeah. And jiu-jitsu has a attrition rate, a high attrition rate, right?
Yeah.
It's like not for everyone. People try it. They don't, they get their tattoo, then they leave. Right. So it's like,
Cauliflower ear.
yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like, yeah, there's probably, I don't know, there's probably a good 15, 20 people here that I'm sure of what their names are. And then other people, it's like, hey,
in
dude.
terms of jargon, man, do I ever hate the word os
oh, I've
and
never said it.
professor.
Yeah.
Oh, I do not like being called professor.
Yeah.
Like, and
Professor dumbass.
yeah, right. Oh my goodness. I get that when I go to like other seminars because people are wanting to be respectful. I'm like, no, just coach
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah.
That's all I am. I'm not a professor of anything.
Or Xenu.
I'll take Zeno. I'll take Zeno. I'll take some weird
Grand,
grandmaster.
Grandmaster Lord Xenu.
Yeah. Or like Master Roshi.
I don't know what that is. Is that a Dragon Ball Z thing?
It is.
Oh, yeah.
Disappoint me yet again. that third stripe is going to be a long ways off.
Like coming like, hey Travis, sure. Oh, episode 48 really is cool, huh? Oh, Star Trek is a cult, by the way.
That's Star Trek. Star Wars also has it, and they have their counterculture where they fight each other, where they're like, no, we're more nerdy. No, we're more nerdy.
Yeah.
That's kind of before Disney took a hold of Star Wars. Once Disney did, they kind of a lot of their shit tanked.
Which is interesting because like it's almost like when you take away the nicheness of something, which in a way is
Marvel.
Oh yeah, dude. I used to love comic books when I was a kid, and then I started watching those movies. I was like, these suck.
I liked them, but there was some that were just like garbage.
Yeah,
but yeah,
but it's not the same as a comic book,
No.
Like I used to really like Doctor Strange because it had that sort of weird mystical element to it, culty.
Yep.
And then the movie's just like it pales in comparison to like being able to apply your imagination to something. It's just not the same, man.
Totally.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our take on the episode today. Is BJJ a cult? I think
No.
Roundly no.
There's some aspects of it, but no. In the entirety,
yeah.
There are some clubs that could be considered it. For the most part, no. And if you feel like you are part of one, check your surroundings. See if you can go and train at another club.
Yeah.
Openly talk about it. If you can't, that's something to like be aware of.
Yeah. So
other than that, I just want to like give a shout out to one of my youth students, Maverick here. He gave me this sweet hoodie, and I am a sucker for like awesome hoodies. It's like Wolf Pack on the one side, and it's like Warriors on the other, and it's got like this sweet wolf here.
Nice.
It's like Wolf Chevy, so in town if you want to. Chevy's the best make anyways. So
is that true?
Honestly, if you're buying a car, buy a car that you like the looks of, because then if something goes wrong with it,
it still looks cool.
Yeah, well, you don't mind putting money into it.
Oh yeah.
If you hate the way it looks, you're gonna hate putting money into it. Yeah. That's a mechanic's perspective on buying a car.
Oh, by the way, my son asked me about seeing the truck that you're building.
Yeah.
He was like, when are we going to see your friend's truck? And I hadn't mentioned it in like whatever, 3 months or 4 months or something. So,
okay, well, I'll put the steering wheel in, then he can like
nice
spin it and stuff too.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Do it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah. And if we don't catch you now, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Nice.